Today, Unique Storytellers is showcasing an Indian psychological drama film, Taare Zameen Par. This is Ishaan, an imaginative 8-year-old known for stirring up trouble among his peers. Despite his creativity, he struggles academically, consistently ranking at the bottom of his class. His report card indicates the likelihood of repeating the 3rd grade. In contrast, his older brother Yohain is an exemplary student, excelling not only academically but also in tennis, preparing for an upcoming interstate championship. Ishaan frequently finds himself in altercations with local children who tease him. One day, a fellow student's mother complains to his father, Nando Kishore, about his behavior. Awkwardly, Nando Kishore apologizes to the child and the mother. After their departure, he disciplines Ishaan by pushing him to the floor. Despite his affection for his children, Nando Kishore is excessively strict with Ishaan, attributing his academic struggles and incomplete tasks to laziness. The next day at school, Ishaan's English teacher asks him to read a line from the book. He tries his best but can hardly form a word. He has difficulty in understanding the letters, but the teachers mistake it for him being a brat. When she repeatedly urges him to read, he yells gibberish. And he is sent out of the class. It is not a new thing for Ishaan to be punished. In fact, he spends most of his time outside rather than studying because the teachers think of him as a disturbance to the other students. That day, Ishaan hadn't done his math homework. To avoid facing the math teacher, he runs away from school and spends the entire day wandering around the neighborhood. He enjoys the day to his fullest, buying ice cream, spending time by the sea, and analyzing the passers-by. By the end of the day, he returns to his school bus without anyone noticing his absence. At home, we see him make a beautiful painting. Ishaan loves to paint and his imaginative mind helps the cause, resulting in over-the-top pieces. Later, his mother Maya tries to tutor him and make him do his homework. She notices that his handwriting is awful and he can hardly spell anything right. She associates his inability with laziness and scolds him like everyone else. The next day, Ishaan will have to provide his teacher with an absent note from his parents. Scared of getting in trouble, he begs his brother to write the note for him. Yohain makes him promise he will never skip school again and writes the note. The kid shows it to his teacher, who doesn't question its authenticity. He also pretends to cough to make it seem like he was actually sick. That day, the math teacher surprises the kids with a test. Ishaan is handed the test paper, but to him, the letters look like they are dancing. The first question asks him the multiplication of 3 with 9. In his head, the kid imagines the 3rd planet Earth, and the 9th planet Pluto fighting each other. He fantasizes about the Earth destroying Pluto and rationalizes that the answer is 3. Leaving the rest of the questions blank, he submits the test. When asked by his friends, he confidently claims that he enjoyed the test thoroughly. Upon Nando Kishore's return from his business trip, joy fills Ishaan as he warmly embraces his father. However, during breakfast, Nando Kishore discovers the forged absence note from the previous day. After investigating further, he learns of Ishaan's truancy from school and solitary wanderings. The following day, the parents meet with Ishaan's teachers and the principal, who criticize his behavior in class and discuss his recent poor performance on the math test. Shockingly, the principal suggests that Ishaan may require special education, a prospect that horrifies Nando Kishore at the thought of his son being labeled as disabled. Concerned for their son's future, the parents decide to enroll him in a boarding school, despite Ishaan's vehement objections. Ishaan's parents are steadfast in their decision despite his tearful protests, leaving him to depart for the countryside boarding school. The prospect of being away from home, sharing a dorm, and seeing his family only once a month weighs heavily on the 8-year-old, who has never experienced such separation. Tearfully, he watches his family drive away, his sorrow lingering even after their departure. As darkness falls, he enters the hostel, tears streaming down his face, feeling the weight of loneliness in the quiet night. Meanwhile, Maya sifts through Ishaan's belongings at home and discovers a flipbook depicting his separation from the family, breaking her heart as she realizes the depth of his fear and sorrow. At the hostel, Ishaan struggles with basic tasks like tying his tie and shoelaces. Assigned to sit with the top student, Rajan, by the Hindi teacher, Mr. Tiwari, Ishaan's difficulties become apparent to the staff. He faces physical punishment from his art teacher and continues to be excluded from class activities. Frustration builds, leading him to destroy his books and spiral into depression and self-loathing. During his parents' visit a month later, Ishaan breaks down in tears for the first time since their departure, retreating to his room until coaxed out by encouragement. Defiantly, he runs laps around the basketball court, prompting his family to take him to a hotel for a night's reprieve from the hostel's harsh realities. Unaware of Ishaan's suppressed creativity, Yohain gifts him a hamper of painting supplies, further exacerbating his feelings of inadequacy. The family bids him farewell once more, leaving Ishaan feeling more despondent than ever. While standing on the school terrace, contemplating the notion of jumping, his thoughts are interrupted by Rajan, who introduces him to their new art teacher, Ram. Despite Ram's unconventional approach, including dressing as a joker, singing, playing flute, and fostering enjoyment, Ishaan remains disengaged in his depressed state. For their inaugural assignment, Ram instructs the students to freely draw or paint to unveil their creative leanings. While others eagerly commence their artwork, Ishaan leaves his paper untouched. Concerned, Ram attempts to probe, but Ishaan remains unresponsive. Later that evening, Maya calls to converse with him, but he remains silent, feeling neglected upon discovering that their next visit will be postponed due to Yohain's tennis competition. The next day, Ram notices Ishaan kneeling outside the classroom, prompting him to delve deeper. Rajan reveals Ishaan's struggles with understanding letters, sparking Ram's curiosity. Drawing from his experience teaching children with disabilities, Ram recognizes parallels in Ishaan's errors and feels compelled to delve into his situation further. Weeks later, after diagnosing Ishaan with dyslexia, Ram visits his parents. Surprised to learn of Ishaan's past love for painting, Ram laments the pressure that extinguished his passion. Despite Ram's diagnosis and explanation, Nandokishore persists in labeling Ishaan as lazy, sparking a confrontation. To illustrate the challenges of dyslexia, Ram challenges Nandokishore to read unfamiliar letters, fostering a moment of realization. Though acknowledging Ishaan's condition, Nandokishore remains reluctant to embrace painting as a viable path for his son's future. Determined to prove Nandokishore wrong, Ram returns to school the next day and educates the children about famous historical figures who struggled academically in their youth. This lifts Ishaan's spirits, and he participates by correctly identifying Thomas Edison as the inventor of the light bulb. Later, by the pond, Ishaan constructs a boat using rubber bands and leaves, impressing Ram, who preserves the creation as a decoration. Despite this newfound creativity, Ishaan still encounters challenges in studying like his peers. Ram confides in the school principal about Ishaan's struggles, rejecting the suggestion of sending him to a special needs school and instead offering to tutor him daily after school. The principal agrees, and Ram employs innovative teaching methods such as sandboxes and sensory activities to help Ishaan differentiate letters and improve his math skills. Within 2 months, Ishaan makes remarkable progress, mastering concepts that had eluded him for years. Nandokishore visits the school to boast about researching their son's condition, but Ram holds him accountable for Ishaan's loss of self-confidence, a truth Nandokishore cannot deny. Overwhelmed with regret, he cannot face Ishaan. A painting competition organized by Ram becomes a pivotal moment for Ishaan. Using the painting supplies from Yohain, Ishaan creates a stunning artwork of himself by the pond, while Ram paints a portrait of him. Both paintings impress the judges, with Ishaan ultimately declared the winner. For the first time, he feels recognized for his talent and embraces Ram with tears of gratitude. In the closing scene, Maya and Nandokishore attend the parent-teacher meeting, astounded by Ishaan's talent showcased in the yearbook. The principal praises Ram for his exceptional teaching approach, while Ishaan's teachers commend his remarkable progress. Overwhelmed with joy, Maya and Nandokishore express their gratitude to Ram and bid him farewell as Ishaan heads back to his hometown for vacation. If you found this content engaging, consider subscribing for more videos like this, activate notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.